Now back to Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. Donald Trump being the media whore that he is, and Bernie Sanders not getting enough coverage. It is absolutely because no one. Bernie Sanders is the only threat to the corporate paradigm that we're living underneath. He is the only real threat to changing this hard right, trickle down economics, corporatism environment that we live in. Hillary Clinton is not. Donald Trump is not. Donald Trump, if he got elected, God forbid, if Donald Trump got elected, but Donald Trump would actually probably, with the exception of the military, he would probably govern as a moderate, just right of center moderate, with even some left of center social policies. But in regards to the military, he's going to be a neocon hawk, which is the last thing that we need right now. But in that regard, Donald Trump also represents the status quo. Whether or not people believe it, but people think he's an outsider. But Donald Trump, besides being a buffoon with his language, if you listen to the things that he says, but he has not yet committed, so we got to take it with a grain of salt, he's really not that far from an establishment Republican, an establishment Democrat like Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is status quo. Donald Trump, Jeb Bush, they're status quo. And there's nothing to be feared about the status quo. Now, you add on someone who's not going to really change the economic paradigm, on top of the fact that he brings in ridiculous ratings, then they're going to love Donald Trump. Donald Trump knows how to play the game. Donald Trump knows how to say exactly what needs to be said to get media coverage. He knows how to get hundreds of millions of dollars in free PR. And that's what he has done over the last 2 months of his campaign. Now, they are terrified of Bernie Sanders because if Bernie Sanders ever got half of the media attention that Donald Trump has gotten, then he would be the front runner in the Democratic Party. That's the only reason Donald Trump is the front runner, is because of the media coverage that he is getting. Here's the paradox. Bernie Sanders is the only person that's pulling the type of crowds that he's pulling. Donald Trump is catching up with his crowds, but on a consistent basis from day one, Bernie Sanders has been pulling tremendous crowds. And so that is a narrative that should garner media attention, but it's not. And the reason it's not is because the last thing anyone wants who is in bed with the status quo, who is in bed with Wall Street, who's in bed with the Washington establishment, is for this outside democratic socialist who's actually going to change the system to get the traction that he needs to be successful. And this should tell us a lot about the campaign of Barack Obama. I said this from day one with Barack Obama. I said, do not misunderstand. Misunderstand? I don't know. For some reason, that doesn't sound right. It could be a word, but this morning it doesn't feel right. Do not be confused. There you go. With who Barack Obama is. From day one, I told people Barack Obama is not a radical. Barack Obama is not really a reformist. Barack Obama is not going to revolutionize America. Barack Obama is going to be the first black president. I could tell this because the media was in love with him. And Barack Obama benefited from quite a bit of free media coverage, not even when he deserved it and even when he did not deserve it. Barack Obama represents the status quo. Bernie Sanders does not. And so that is why they are terrified, and they will not show Bernie Sanders in any substantive way. And when they do, they always disregard him, just like Warren Buffett did. Warren Buffett said, I love Bernie Sanders, but he's not going to be president. And those sleight of hands, that casual dismissal, it is a powerful thing in media, and they know it. So they'll talk about him, but he won't be president because they're terrified of what his presidency would actually mean, which would destroy the entire paradigm that we've been living under, which Jeb Bush is trying to push us further down. And I'll talk about his policies in a minute.